Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on Time Sports Talk. We are back a little late this week. We wanted to wait till Monday Night Football happened because of the Washington Redskins, and then we were going to do it last night, but I was out at the Astros game. But across from me is the man, the myth, the legend, Eddie, the original schedule. Say hello to me.
Yes, and there was actually two Monday night games. Well, one game, both teams showed up. The other game, only one team showed up.
Yeah,
So,
there's only one that was probably relative to us. We'll get into that a little later. I am Casey, the remix schedule. Almost forgot my name for a second, going crazy because I watched the Dallas Cowboys. That's going to drive anyone crazy. I can't believe you're doing this episode with that shirt on, sir.
hey man, it's a love-hate relationship, right?
Yeah, it's goodbye.
You know why? Because I'm all in.
Oh,
I'm all in.
we knew Jerry was coming out. You know, you should watch some more of Jerry Jones' interviews. You might be able to get some more stuff he says. I'm just throwing it out.
I gotcha.
All right. Anyway, I do want to start this episode before we get to our customary joke of the show, joke of the week. This past Saturday, I attended a gala in downtown Houston for Camp Hope. It's actually, I think it's for the PTSD Foundation of America that gives money to Camp Hope. I'm wearing the shirt here. Good Lord, someone being super loud in that background while I'm trying to be serious over there. But it was a phenomenal event, really well done. The stories that we heard about helping our vets with PTSD issues and mental health, trying to get that stigma not really being a stigma anymore, and the work they're doing down in, I believe, Cypress, Texas, has been incredible. To talk to the manager there, he was a great guy. Just a lot of amazing things happened there. A lot of money raised.
Marcus Luttrell,
I
while
do.
you're there,
It was
Congressman
more. I met Morgan Luttrell,
Morgan.
yeah,
That's it,
the
Morgan.
U.S. representative. He was there. What was really cool about that is he actually told them not to tell anyone he was going to be there, because he didn't want people showing up just because he was there. He wanted people that wanted to be there, and he ended up being the guest speaker. So we walk in and we're looking at all the silent auctions, and I look up and I'm like, "Oh damn, that's Luttrell right there."
Survivor.
So that was really cool to meet him, and yeah, great foundation. So if anyone out there ever is looking for a charity to give to for veterans, um, Mission 22 is near and dear to my heart. It's got the same purpose, but Camp Hope is quickly rising up the the pedestal of charities for me, for sure. Pretty amazing stuff they're doing out there. Some gut wrenching stories and some amazing recoveries, especially with those local to us. All right. All right, you ready? You ready to make the world laugh?
Well, I make the world laugh by just waking up
You
and
are
looking
goofy
like
looking as
this,
hell.
right? You know,
You're goofy looking.
it takes a lot of work to get this beautiful mug the way it is. Yes. All right. So the joke of the day. Where, and you should be able to get this. Where do basketball players go when they need a new uniform?
Where do basketball players go to get a new uniform? Hmm.
Jeopardy music. Do, do,
Yeah,
do,
just
do.
if you give me the time, I might go ahead and hit the people with it.
So where do basketball players go when they need a new uniform? New Jersey. New Jersey. Get it? New
All right,
Jersey.
we get it.
Woo!
You're selling it
We
hard.
get in the car and we head down the street and we get a New Jersey. Come on. I didn't say we're going to Boston. I said we're going to New
Man, you
Jersey.
tried to sell that hard.
You almost started to laugh. Almost. I saw the snicker.
Nah, driving me
I
nuts.
saw.
Still your best one. All right, still your best one. But that one didn't get.
All right. Let's get into something here.
All right, NFL folks. Our rundown today is probably going to be 95% NFL. Not a lot happening in college football as far as any upsets or anything crazy there. We'll touch a little bit on Caitlin Clark. Um, and then we got a surprise for you at the end. It's going to lead up to next week. I think if you fast forward this or you stick around, hopefully you stick around and watch or listen or whatever you're doing out there. But it's going to be an interesting one at the end of the show. And got one to add to the pet peeves, the sport pet peeves list that is ever growing. So
I got one too. I got one too.
oh, he just makes up one because he wants to be included over there.
No, this one does drive me a little bit crazy.
So hopefully you don't know what mine is. Hopefully it's not the same thing. But
I doubt
week 3 in the NFL, man, it was a hell of a week. It was a hell of a week. First
it.
observation that I had was Sean Payton, Denver Broncos, put it on Tampa Bay with the rookie Bo Nix.
That was my surprise of the week.
Well, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah, Bo knows. Bo knows how to play quarterback because he was showing some serious moxie and showing some serious confidence in his play. And it was a really good game. It was fun to watch. I watched a lot of that. You know, I love watching the Red Zone channel. That's for us folks who have ADHD. I think that's what that channel was made for, us folks who have ADHD. Because you get a little bored with that game. No, yeah, another game, another game, another game. Four on the same screen, on the same screen. It works for my ADHD because I'm squirrel. So, but back to the subject here. Yeah, he really showed some serious improvement,
it
and I think the credit goes to Sean Payton. You know, they talk about this, and I think it also shows how that relationship last year with Russell Wilson was not good
the
because
question
we never saw that with Russell Wilson.
the question I
So
have for you based off of that game. Now it's only one game. I forgive me on the Broncos. I don't know if that was I think that was their first win. Um, but does it give you a little more faith in the process that Sean Payton is going through up there in Denver, just off of the one game?
I think so because it's just like I said. I think it takes 3 games into the season, and it really takes to me the kind of what we saw from the Cowboys. It took to the fourth quarter of that third game in the season before people start to remember how to actually play freaking football. So I think there's still this gradual getting back into playing football and getting back in the speed of the game. I think another game we kind of saw that with was Frisco. You know, Frisco usually comes out of the gate really fast, and them losing and a very close one to the Rams. But I do think Peyton, it's from what we saw, because we know Nick has the talent. And that's what's crazy about a lot of these players. If you look what's going on in Chicago right now, it's you just see the difference sometimes. The right type of coach in the right type of situation just does somebody somebody good. You know, not to use that pun from a commercial, but it's the same thing with the Panthers. You know, Bryce Young is not. He hasn't. He's regressed. He hasn't gone forward. A lot of people say don't play the rookie, but if the rookie's in the right situation, has the right coaching behind him, and
Well,
to me, go ahead.
I was going to say Bryce Young. According to LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy, it's a race thing. He's playing the race card on that. He's said if Bryce Young was a white quarterback, he wouldn't have been benched.
Yeah, that to me is just a goofy argument. I
Agreed.
just think it's yeah, I think it's just a goofy argument. People bring that up too much to find an excuse. He's just not doing very well. But I also think it has to do with the relationships. Um, and I just think sometimes they don't give it a lot of time. But here's what I was going to say about Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton understands, and he did this when he had Rome back in the day, when Romo just stepped in there for, I can't remember his name now.
Drew
I'm
Bledsoe.
having, yeah, Bledsoe. What Sean Payton does is he goes to their strength and doesn't try to make them do things they can't. And I think with Russell Wilson he's such a, has so much experience as a veteran. He probably didn't listen to a lot of it. Whereas working with a new quarterback like Romo or Nix, it shows what Sean Payton can do because he knows not to put them in certain situations and play to their strength.
Well, I will say
That's
Romo didn't take over till '06, and
Mhm.
Sean Payton was already with the Saints. So
Hang on about that.
I literally just looked it up. He became the head coach in 2006. That's why.
Yeah, but he was there with Romo before.
But anyways,
And
uh,
yeah, anyway, I do think just sticking with okay, so maybe I'm wrong on that one, but I do think it goes back to how not putting guys out there trying to do things they can't. That's what I think's going on with Chicago. That's what I think they're doing with Williams is they're putting him trying to make him do things he's not ready to do yet.
hey, I mean, you're a victim of the world we're in, right? We
Mhm.
all are. So it's instant results. It's instant gratification in every phase of life, and people expect it in sports too. You're the number one overall pick. You mentioned Chicago, Caleb Williams. Get in there. Sorry about you, Bryce Young. Your number one pick. Go. You're the fan. You're the franchise savior. Go. Um, do I think each of those quarterbacks have the talent to be guys, to be viable starters at a minimum, to be a Pro Bowl level? Yes, I absolutely do. But some guys need to sit. Aaron Rodgers sat, Jordan Love sat. You know, these guys, but you know, Troy Aikman didn't sit. He got blasted. He was one of the worst. That was a terrible year. But Peyton Manning didn't sit. Set the rookie record for interceptions. It's a case by case basis. I think people need to understand that. And I think the coaching staff and the franchise need to understand the quarterback that all the research they do is this a guy who has the mental makeup and do we have the team around them to be successful? Panthers around Bryce Young are awful. They're just really
True.
bad. So it doesn't matter who you throw in there. I know Andy Dalton is going to be the quarterback. He's probably going to look like he sucks. I mean, he's not great
Mhm.
anymore, and he was decent when he was in Cincinnati for a long time, but he's not. He's going to look just pedestrian at best because that team is not good, and you got to put 53 guys out there to support really your quarterback, especially those 22 on offense.
Mhm.
So, speaking of rookie quarterbacks, though, who went into a good situation, who is looking legitimate, looking like geniuses, that game Monday night that we paid attention to, Washington Commanders. They are
Yeah.
looking pretty viable, sir. And
Well,
happy about
you can look at this two ways. Is it because the Bengals are discombobulated right now, although they did score 33 points? Or was it because Washington just was doing what they needed to do to win and
I
were the better team?
think Washington did what they
Um,
needed to do to win. Jaden Daniels was dropping dimes, and didn't he have what, two incompletions? I think it was. I mean,
yeah, he was 23 of 20, or 20, yeah, 23, 21 of 23
didn't he have?
for
Was it a
254
perfect
yards.
passer rating? Like it was damn near a perfect passer rating. Like,
Yeah, I would think so.
but
If you didn't have any interceptions through two touchdowns, it's probably about 154 or whatever that perfect rating is.
Yeah, what Jaden Daniels proved was the Washington Commanders made the right decision taking him. So those two wins we penciled in against Washington for Dallas might want to erase those.
And, I still think we're gonna have to remember.
We're gonna get into Dallas futures here in a minute, but let's go local. Your wife's favorite team, Houston Texans, and the hat is back.
It is the one game I got right. I think
It is the one pick you got right.
that's the
You didn't.
Vikings. Vikings put it on the Texans. Yeah, I thought I was going to get stabbed watching that game with my wife because she said it was my fault. I was like, well, they practice, they make all these game plans, but yeah, because I picked that team, that's why they won.
Well,
None
you
of that other
normally
stuff
have the
mattered.
opposite effect.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
so you actually like were helping the Texans picking Minnesota because you normally the picks you have normally backfire outside of you do have a losing record now. We'll get into the
well,
picks a little later.
let
That
me
was a
talk
crazy.
about another surprise to me. And actually, and I know people are going to say it's because you hate the Eagles, but it's not hating on the Eagles. It's just an observation. To me, the Eagles are, if we had a segment to talk about who's an imposter, in other words, what's a team that has a record that does not really reflect how good or bad they are? Now, to me, that's the Eagles. The Eagles have barely beaten both the teams they've played. And when you look at Jalen Hurts, now he had 300 yards, but no touchdowns and interception against the Saints. Now, granted, the Saints' defense is pretty darn good. We know that from experience.
It was
But
also
then you go back to the Falcons game, and Jalen Hurts, once again, another interception. What did he have? He had another fumble. Um, and that was the game of this. Quan Barkley was, I don't know if you can see that, Butterfinger, because that's what he was, Butterfingers in that game. Um, and then he was almost the hero in this game, but still, I just think the play calling for the Eagles is atrocious. I do not. I still don't buy a lot of stock in Jalen Hurts. I think he makes mistakes at the most inopportune time. And I just don't think they have the right coach in place. That was my biggest surprise is that the fact that they held on, they beat the Eagles, or beat the Saints, I should say. I really thought the Saints would lay it on them, but that Eagles defense is something to be reckoned with. Um, but I think there was a few bad calls in that game also. But I
yeah.
just
I
think the
mean,
Eagles are an imposter right now
well,
with their record.
you moved on pretty quick from the Houston Vikings thing. I wanted to kind of touch on a couple local things here. I saw local media around here, local sports radio was. I mean, they're ready to throw everyone off the ship, like fire everyone after one loss. Like I saw John Lopez on in the loop, like he tweeted, he's all like, "Oh, the Texans are going to get it from today from the show," or stuff like that. I was like, I tweeted at him. Of course, he didn't respond, but I was like, after one loss, like, yeah, you got your ass whooped, but you're still 2-1, and you look decent in the other games. Like, I was like, man, these Houston Texans fans went from being
And,
like in
and who else is going to
purgatory,
beat them in their division now?
probably no one, but
Yeah,
and
they've got probably the easiest path to the playoffs
but I
as
just
far as division.
thought it was very interesting here in the Houston area. Like people were like ready to, they were like, oh, like I'm not saying they're calling for D'Amico Ryan's job, but they were questioning every decision he ever made in his entire life. Maybe that's what it felt like, and just going off on them for like they had a bad game. Like calm down. Uh, you got a good squad. let's pump the brakes over there. Can't believe I'm trying to talk Houston fans off a ledge there. So two other surprises that I thought have been interesting league wide is how much passing is down and scoring is down. And I really thought that was interesting, and it led to one of the stupidest things I've ever seen on television. Okay, Mel effing Kiper Jr. wants to throw out the stupidest idea I've ever heard. Did you hear about this?
No.
Okay, so just imagine someone who's supposed to be an expert proposing this garbage. He sat here and proposed that the NFL should outlaw two high safeties on defense because they're having.
Wow, what?
They should outlaw two high safeties like a cover two. You shouldn't be able to have two safeties a certain amount from the line of scrimmage, like 15, 20 yards from the line of scrimmage or whatever. He said one should have to be brought down lower. It was one of the dumbest proposals I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Old Mel, he's getting up there. He might have a little dementia setting in,
Because he's like,
because
he's like the quarterbacks are having a hard time throwing the ball. Shut the F up. How about you learn to run the ball? If you run the ball effectively like the Ravens did all over our fucking defense, you're going to bring your safeties down. And then you go to the top. Mel Kiper,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Idiot. Dumbest thing I've ever heard.
that's a goofy ass idea.
Like,
It's like me, the stupid. Well, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it. I got when we get to
what was really funny is I
that.
saw Sean Salisbury, who does local here. He tweeted, he's like, can we get some people on television that actually know what they're talking about when it comes to football? And I was all like, hey, let me know when they start hiring because I'll go with you. It was pretty funny. All right. Well, this is probably going to take the bulk of the show.
Well, before we get to the
Oh,
Cowboys,
yes.
let's
No.
assume that's where you're going.
Oh, that's where the hell I'm going.
I wanted to just touch on really quickly because I lived in San Diego for 15 years in the Navy. San Diego Padres, they secured a playoff game by being the only team, and I don't think I'm wrong on this, the only team ever to secure a playoff win by having a game closing triple play, which was, if you saw it, it was beautiful. Guy hits it down the line to the third baseman. He tags base, throws it to second, and then he throws it to first. Gets all three, 1, 2, 3, and they are in the playoffs.
I'm impressed.
So, and that's another thing, Houston, with their Astros, they are the American League West champ. I know you don't like hearing that, but they are the American League West
Yeah, and
champions.
I was at
Are
that game.
they?
I was at that game last night.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. What's so really funny before we move on, because it's about all the time I got for baseball. So we're sitting in our club seats in section 227 last night. And I mean, the dude hit a hell of a home run for the Astros. I forgot who hit it. I mean, it was a no doubter. And crowd stands up, goes wild, and the dude in front of me is like high fiving people, and he turns around me to high five, and I looked at him. I was like, nah, no, I'm not high fiving you. And Linda looked at him, gave him a high five, and said, he's a Rangers fan. And then he kind of gave me a look, and I'm like, yeah, I am. Deal with it. World Series champs until someone else wins it. Anyway,
so basically this year, since
yeah,
they're not going to be there.
we suck. Hey, Bruce Bochy, World Series doesn't make the playoffs. World Series. That's how he operates. So
Yeah, I dealt with that when I was a Spurs fan.
yeah.
It
So
was one year we're awesome, the next year we're nobody.
well, the Spurs would make the playoffs. All right. Anyways, yes, the Dallas Cowboys debacle in week 3. You said let's wait till we get 3 games in the season. What do we got? All right, what the hell you got over there?
Okay, so I said 3 games. That means you got to play all 3 games. That doesn't mean you start the third game and then you know what you got. So, as I always say, the big thing about it, why it takes 3 games before people start to remember how to play football, is because none of the players that are playing on the field right now do shit during preseason except sit there and laugh at the new guys. And now we're really getting into, because if when I was a kid, they played 6 preseason games, and the players actually played in those games. So when they got to the regular season, they were football ready. I still think there's teams, and I think the Cowboys are one of them, that are still not football ready. And it only started to show in the fourth quarter of this game that they actually started to remember how to play a little bit, and they got a little fire under their ass and started to move. But my thing about it is that they're still figuring out who the hell they are. And I'll let you comment on that, and then I'll get to some more about this
All right.
damn Dallas team.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. I give them absolutely no credit for coming back in that game. That's like coming back in the Green Bay game in the playoffs. It did not matter. Okay. I don't give them any credit for that. I'm watching. Like I didn't even honestly. I had to go back and watch the comeback because I said, "F this game. This is awful." Like I would get more accomplished by watching paint dry. Okay, you texted me, it's like, "Hey, did you play your game in NCAA football? Because I'd rather do that than watch the rest of this game." So I give them no credit. I'm not jumping ship like Dak Prescott's like, "Oh, if you want to jump ship," I'm just being real. All right, this team. I don't know what you're going to get into, but I'll get into the offensive part of it first.
Can you see this?
Uh, Jerry Jones going to suit up for.
Says fuck it, I'm going in.
It's pretty funny.
I got that sent to
So
me today.
let me tell you, and I'm going to tell you, it's all a vicious cycle here. I tried to say it, and I think after 3 games, you got to start giving me this. The running game is inept. They do not have a run over 12 yards. They have not broken a single tackle according to the data. And they are averaging 1.5 yards after contact.
You think that's more of a problem than the defense, though?
No, I didn't say
Because
more
I
of a
don't.
problem. I said I'll get to the defense. We're going to get to the
Well,
defense.
they got all sorts of
But
freaking problems. First
hold
off,
on. Everyone wants to throw it on Dak. Dak's not the issue because right now he's having to do everything because he has no support with the running game. Guess what the running game does? It takes the defense off of the field on the other side. It bleeds the clock. It shortens the game. It has so many more advantages. It wears down the defense for you to get big plays. The running game is key, and they don't have it because Jerry Jones effed around in the offseason with Dak's contract, with CD's contract, and I'll get to CD here in a minute because he pissed me the F off during that game. And he messed around and saying, "Oh, we couldn't afford Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs." I'm adding names to his list. You could have if you wouldn't have screwed yourself in the offseason. This is on Jerry Jones and that front office. It's not on Dak Prescott. You think Zeke Elliott's going to solve your running problems? You retire, please. Not Zeke. I don't care about him retiring or being on the team. I agree with you inside the 5 yard line. He's great. Pass protection is great. Everywhere else he sucks. Okay, but I know the defense is it's on track to be the worst defense.
defense wins
You
championships.
got to
Defense
score
is
to win
the
the game.
damn problem. Defense, first off, okay. First off, Micah,
So
shut the F up and play the game. Stop blaming other players in the media. If you got a problem with someone, take care of it in the locker room. Stop doing it in public. It does not make you a good teammate. You know who it makes you, Micah? You want to really know who it makes you with all this bullshit being on social media and all that? I got 2 words for you: Terrell Owens. That's who it fucking makes you. Shut up and play the game because you're going to end up just like him. Yeah, you'll be some Hall of Famer somewhere, but you won't do it on one team. You'll be on 4 or 5 teams because everybody thinks you're a crappy teammate. You need to shut up and play the game. Prove yourself. That's what's driving me crazy. Even you could see D Law getting pissed at him on the sideline. He's trying to be a leader, but he has no clue how to be a leader. Be a leader with your play
Hey, so
because you don't know how to talk it and you don't know how to act it. So
that's
just shut up and do what you do best, and that is play football.
hey, I'm
So
gonna let you keep going. I just want to comment on that. He hasn't had to lead when things have been bad. They've had 3 straight 12-5 seasons. It's been okay. It's been hunky dory. They've been in the playoffs. Hey, when it's great, it's easy to be a leader when you're winning. It's not when things are going to shit.
it's better to be a leader. Do you see D Law out there on social media, on the radio stations, blaming other players, talking about how nobody's doing their job and all that? Do you? But I guarantee you that I guarantee you that Kendricks and those guys in the locker room are saying that shit, but they don't take it outside of that locker room because it is a team game. And that's the thing, is that if you want to believe and trust in the guy next to you out there on that football field, you need to know that he's got your back. And not that when he walks out the damn door, he starts running his mouth about, well, I'm the lion and I got to eat. And the rest of y'all are a bunch of freaking sheep that should follow me. That is not being a leader. Micah is still young in his career, and he's about to go down a road to where he won't be a Cowboy. He'll play on 4 or 5 teams, be one of the great linebackers of all time, but known as a bad teammate. So my advice to you, young man, is shut your mouth and prove what you can do on the field. Set the example on the field. Your mouth does not set the example. Because let's go to the other side of this. Who also needs to shut up? And the freaking reporters, stop interviewing Jerry. Please, I know I do an impression of Jerry, but Jerry needs to. He's almost a 90-year-old man, and you're looking for opinions on a game that is played by 20-year-olds. So stop talking to him. Please stop. I know they won't, but
No,
Jerry
too
needs
inter-
to just stop, man. At some point, no one believes a damn word about, well, I believe in the personnel we got. You only believe in the personnel you got because you don't even know who the hell you got. If I ask you who your name your lineman, I guarantee you Jerry can't name all of them. He'd probably say Martin and who else we got? Steve? How much? Who? That's what would happen. So the Cowboys, unfortunately, they end up in the circus of people talking too much. Now, granted, the spotlight shines on them all the damn time. And unfortunately, the media plays into Jerry. Let's see if we can get Jerry to say something. He's like the car wreck that everybody wants that causes traffic because as bad as it is, you don't want to look at it, you still look. Or, so
it.
that's
So
my thing right now of that whole thing. But I do think the problem is on defense more than anything else. You have got to stop a damn run on the outside or stop a run, period.
yeah,
Just
so it's yes, the defense is major issues. I mean, I would fire Zimmer right now. I would put Al Harris in charge of that defense.
major issues. It is major
You hey
pain.
hey
Yes,
hey
it is major pain.
you missing Dan Quinn because I am. I'm missing. You shouldn't have let him go because right now,
Yeah, but we knew that was going to happen.
yes, we
And you
knew.
knew it.
Hey, that doesn't change the fact that we were a better defense under Dan Quinn with basically the same personnel, and I would argue it's better personnel now. So,
Well, we're going to get Bland back probably by the Pittsburgh game. Now that's to me that is a big deal
well, he can't
uh,
play unless he can play
because
defensive tackle, defensive end, middle linebacker.
Well, hang on.
It ain't gonna matter.
What's the rookie's name? Carlin. What's 21? The new rookie. Well, I call him Charmin. You know why I call him Charmin? Because he's that damn soft. He could not tackle. He was getting ran over. And I get it. He's a rookie. But that's why we need Bland back in the game because right now, on one side of the field, that corner, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's good. He's probably a good kid and he's got skills, but he is not NFL ready.
That's okay. I won't even argue that on you. I actually think he made it a point to be physical after he got burned and made to look a fool on that one where he came at the wide receiver after he caught it and he just made him look stupid. But I'm gonna say, okay, Deron Bland comes back, cool. You got a guy on the outside now. You got an opposite Trayvon Diggs. That doesn't solve any issues. That doesn't solve the running game, defending the running game. He doesn't play defensive tackle. He doesn't play linebacker. He can't stuff a hole. All right.
Oh, where are they running to? They're all running to the
Derrick
outside.
Henry ran wherever the fuck he wanted to.
Well, you've got a quarterback that you have to, and this is the thing I've always, in Dan Quinn's defense had a problem too, is stopping an option quarterback who keeps the ball or he runs.
Yeah,
They had a problem with
you
that.
said Micah Parsons. I'm going to quote you. He looked like Rory McIlroy. He looked like a little bitch. He looked like a little bitch trying to guard Lamar Jackson. All right. He was turning around. He was like, oh, he got the ball. He got it. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. And then he wants to tell everyone else to do their job. Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. I mentioned him earlier. All right. That dude's going to sit here and be yelling at everyone else when your punk ass fucking fumbled on the going in the end zone. That was on you.
Yeah.
You were not CeeDee Lamb. You wouldn't have got another ball thrown at you. You need to shut up and take your business. Don't be sitting there saying, I'm going to be here all day. How about you catch the ball? You got your money. Be a $35 million fucking wide receiver and do your job. All right? Take care of your business, and then you can say something to someone else. That's like, you want to talk about someone turning into T.O. or a diva or whatever. CeeDee Lamb's turning into a fucking diva.
I wouldn't say as much, but yeah, I agree. You got to take responsibility
But I'm
when
going to tell
you
you,
mess up.
Zimmer needs to be fired and Al Harris needs to be the defensive coordinator. That's my final say on that. Their defensive back coach, who I thought should have got the defensive coordinator job last year. And the fact that you don't know who he is, I question your fandom.
No, I know who he is. I'm thinking, well, I like him where he's at, and I think he's good where he's at. But I don't know if he's ready to be the defensive coordinator
He's
yet.
been an assistant for a very long time, and the league is going younger. These retreads aren't working out. So, like, if he fires McCarthy, which if it goes this way, he might not make the season. If he fires McCarthy, Jerry Jones, speaking of, I'm going to tell you right now, the worst hire he can make is Bill Belichick.
Why do you say that?
Because he's a retread. You saw how the game passed him by when Tom Brady left the Patriots, and he missed on more picks than he hit on.
You really think that Bill Belichick is going to not be able to run the show?
I didn't say he wouldn't be able to run a show, but he can't run this show. I
disagree.
I don't think he's that.
I disagree with him. I disagree with that.
Not the answer.
And mainly because I think Bill understands what winning's about. And I think, but the only way that Belichick's going to come is it's going to be another Bill Parcells thing. He's going to tell him, I want full control. I want to be able to hire people. But so I don't even think it's a possibility because, look, Bill, if you come, I'm going to buy the groceries. I just need you to cook them, but I'm going to buy the groceries. You ain't like Parcells, right? He wanted to buy the groceries and then cook the meal too. See, I didn't need a new wife. I just needed a coach, and that's what I need.
Listen,
so Bill,
I'll
buy the groceries. You cook a meal.
All I'm saying is Bill Parcells recipes are stale. They don't taste good anymore. And I would rather go somewhere new.
You just what? You just put down Parcells?
Oh, not Parcells. Sorry, Belichick. Sorry, I misspoke.
I was fixing to say, man, you're going off
No,
on a
I
a
didn't mean to
Bill
say Bill
tangent.
Parcells. It's
You've
okay.
introduced a Bill problem.
No,
So
Bill Belichick is not the answer for the
you're
Cowboys.
dropping bills. Quit dropping bills because you're getting your bills
Hey,
confused.
let's
Quit making it rain.
speaking of dropping bills, how about you drop your hate of Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills because they're undefeated? All right.
I
Admit that he's
still
a
say
top
he's
five
gonna mess it
quarterback.
up. He's
Admit
gonna
it.
mess it up. He's gonna mess it up.
All right.
They played the damn Jaguars.
And they're
The
undefeated. They
Jaguars,
didn't play them 3 times.
who look more like the Pussycats
Well,
instead of the
you're
Jaguars.
about to pick them over Houston. We'll get
No,
to
I'm
those
not.
later. The
Yeah, no, I'm not. If it loses that game, then yeah, that's a problem.
All right.
I'll be with the rest of the
So
Houston crowd saying
after
D'Amico needs to go.
I talked to you about this originally, and we forgot to put in the rundown. But after bashing the Cowboys as we have, as they deserve, it could be worse. So there are 6 teams that have a longer drought. Actually, let me say this. There are 12 teams that have never won a Super Bowl. I want to see if you can name them. You could be a fan of this team and they've never won a Super Bowl. Like, we're frustrated. We haven't been back since 95 when I was 10 years old, or 9 going on 10, watching over the Steelers. But these teams, generations have not seen anything winning ever. So can you name the 12 teams that have never won a Super Bowl?
Okay, so let's go with Panthers,
That is correct.
Titans,
Titans/Oilers, yes.
Cleveland,
Cleveland is correct.
Chargers.
That is correct. Solid job so far. Are you looking this up? Are you?
No, I'm just looking at the teams. Um, Detroit.
That is correct. I believe they had an NFL championship and
Yeah.
not as
No, they haven't won a Super. You said Super Bowl.
I did.
Vikings.
That is correct.
How many am I up to? I'm up to 6.
Yep, you're halfway
So
there.
6. The Bills.
The Bills are correct.
The I can't
One of them,
remember.
I can't believe one of them is like so obvious.
The Ravens.
No, they won with Ray Lewis, with one of the greatest defenses
Oh
of all
crap!
time,
Okay, I got that one
and they
wrong.
won with
One
Flacco.
of them is so obvious.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Texans?
Yes.
Oh well, the Texans. I wouldn't even count them because they haven't been around that long. But the Texans, yeah.
Around since 2001.
Um,
So you're missing 4.
missing 4.
Missing 4. I'm hoping the folks out there can guess them. Oh,
Okay,
what he
so
looks like when he concentrates really hard.
the what the hell am I missing here? Let's see. The
Awkward silence.
No, the Falcons won a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Yeah, they did.
Win.
Didn't they?
No, they have not won a Super Bowl. They've been to a Super Bowl, but they've never won.
Okay. All right. I had that confused. Okay, how many more?
3 more.
Cardinals.
Correct.
And let's see. Set the Titans. I said the Bills. The Rams. Packers. What the hell am I missing?
Missing 2. And as soon as I'm going to end up having to give them to you for the sake of moving on, because we got another guessing game. The Jaguars,
Oh, totally forgot about the Jaguars.
and the Bengals.
The Bengals haven't won a Super Bowl?
Nope.
I thought.
Boomer never
Hmm.
won one. All right, so in this spirit, here's an easier one. This one's only 6 teams. Out of the teams that have won a Super Bowl, 6 teams, it's been longer since they've won a Super Bowl than the Dallas Cowboys. So they haven't won a Super Bowl. Dallas hasn't won one since 95. These teams won before 95 and still haven't won one since their last win. Their Super Bowl drought is longer than the Cowboys, is what I'm saying.
Well, that would be the old Redskins,
That is correct.
the Jets,
That is correct.
the Colts,
Nope.
right?
Colts won one with Peyton Manning.
They won that since the Cowboys?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Did they win with Peyton Manning? Okay, all right. Um,
Yeah. Peyton has two, one with the Colts, one with Denver.
let's see. The Giants,
Nope.
right?
No.
Or no, it's not the Giants because they won with Eli Manning. Um, damn. Bears?
There you go. Hadn't been since 85 for the Bears.
And so I'm missing one. I got the
No, you're
Jets, the
missing
Redskins.
you're missing three.
Oh, okay. Um,
Give you a hint, two of these are on the West Coast.
49ers?
There you go.
Really?
Since
For some reason, I
94.
thought they
They've been Super Bowl, but they haven't won it since 94.
and then the other one would be.
For the sake of time, you got two is the Raiders and the Dolphins.
Oh, okay.
So folks, as hard as that was to watch, you could be a fan of those teams and never seen your team or
How about you also could live in the worst city in America for professional teams? Because the Oakland A's just paid their last game in Oakland as they're moving to Vegas. How would you like to be in Oakland where you've had professional teams just come and go?
well, it's completely off the topic, but they're actually going to play in Sacramento for 2 years while their stadium is being built.
Yeah.
They would rather go to Sacramento for 2 years rather than stay in Oakland. The Raiders have dished you twice. The Warriors
And
left, and obviously the A's
now
leaving. So, yeah.
that could be worse.
All
No,
right,
the only
let's
go
get
ahead.
to our picks, and then we'll get into our couple of our closing ones. Last week, you won one game. You suck. Um, and I went 2-3, so I did not have a winning record either. But I did get the Baltimore game when you were trying to
I
call.
got the one right.
I have a
Got that one.
helmet. Um, all right, that leaves us overall after 3 weeks, 8-6 and 7 is our records. So, all right, week 4, Dallas, the New York Giants tomorrow night, Thursday night, short week. Who you got?
I'm going Dallas because I just once again not being a homer. I think they can beat. They'll get pressure on
All right,
the
yeah,
quarterback.
all right. We're just
So,
picking. We're not explaining. Just FYI, we're running out.
so yeah.
I got Dallas as well. Philly at Tampa Bay.
This is kind of this once again. I think the Eagles are an imposter, and I think Tampa Bay because it's in Tampa Bay, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to take Tampa Bay, even though they've let me down a few times. Even though they got their asses handed to them by the Broncos, I'm taking Tampa Bay.
The used
I
guys going with Philly. Washington at Arizona.
That's another kind of an upset. I'm going with Arizona.
All
I
right.
think they, I think, yeah, Washington did a good job, and uh,
I'm
the
going.
rookie quarterback definitely showed, but I still think Arizona's going to pull this off at home.
This might be a separation week. I'm going with Washington. All right. That's all the division games. So we both have 2 wild card games. I picked the 2 heavy hitters. You went with the Cheesecake Factory version of games. I went
Cheesecake fact. Ooh, that sounds good. I think I need some
kind of does.
cheesecake. We got any
Um,
cheesecake? I
uh,
need some
I'm
cheesecake.
going Chiefs Chargers. I'm picking the Chargers for the upset. And
See, I wanted to pick that game, but you took it.
I'm picking the other big game this week, Bills Baltimore, the top 5 quarterback of Josh Allen and the Bills are going to go to Baltimore and win. I'm picking the Bills. All right, what are your 2
So,
wild card
way
games?
to go out on a limb. Way to go out on a limb. All right. I am going with the, and I think this is not a Cheesecake Factory game. It is a cheesehead game because it's Minnesota and Green Bay rivalry game. You know who I'm taking.
It's a cheesecake game because they have Malik
I
Willis
am a
at quarterback.
Sam Darnold homer. I think he is just proving that you gotta get in the right situation. He is killing it.
It is a cheesecake
And
game
then the
because
next one,
they don't have
I'm
Joe
picking
Burrow.
the Bengals and the Panthers, and I'm saying the Bengals finally get their first win because the Panthers are better now that they have a new quarterback in, but they are not good enough to beat the Bengals. And I think the Bengals are starting to get pissed off.
Well,
So
I mean, the Bengals haven't won a game since Joe Burrow started dressing like a lesbian or something. I don't know what that man was wearing walking into that game. I was all like, dude, I don't know. Woo, Joe Burrow, you're more secure than I am because I could not wear that. I'm just gonna be honest.
hey, he's just securing his manhood, man.
All right. Just real quick, Caitlin Clark, unanimous rookie of the year. All the haters out there, haha, in your face. We told you. Um, I do not think that poke in the eye was intentional. That was after game 1, but Caitlin Clark struggled in game 1. I expected a rookie to schedule in her first playoff game, to be honest with you, because playoffs get turned up, and teams are, it's just how it is. So I expect them to respond, but that's about all I have on Caitlin Clark and Rookie of the Year. Let's move on. All right. Uh,
Well, okay. Pet peeve.
Pet peeves. All right. You want me to go first? You want to go first?
I'll go first because
All
yours is kind of a surprise.
right.
Um, Here's my thing. Monday Night Football.
Okay.
Stop playing 2 games. Play 1 game. That was supposed to be the deal. And I get it. I was okay when they started off the season with 2 games because everybody wanted more football. Great. You get 2 different things. But during the regular season, I'm playing 2 games on Monday night. I mean, hell, why not put a damn game on every day of the week now? We'll play one on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It'll be all NFL. We'll play 30 games a year. Stop playing 2 freaking games on Monday night so I can concentrate on one because usually one's so damn late you don't stay up and watch it anyway. That's my pet peeve right there.
All right. That's a solid one. I'll allow it on the list since I am the foremost authority on the sports pet peeve list. Mine happened at the Houston Astros game last night. Um,
Oh,
yeah, and we were almost these people, but I just good in good conscience I couldn't do it. I'm too much of a rule follower. Linda's too much of a rule follower. But the people we were meeting, we were sitting in 2 different sections. We didn't buy our tickets, by the way. They gifted them to us, so we didn't have control over that. But I am adding to the list people who sit in the wrong seats and constantly have to move because when people show up to the game, they're like, "Oh, I'm in the wrong seat." You know you're in the wrong seat. You know you ain't supposed to be there. Get the hell out the seat. Go sit in your seats. If it's way up there in the nosebleed section, go up there, take your ass and sweat in Minute Maid Field. Because I've been up in the nosebleed section earlier this summer. That shit was hot as hell, and I know it sucks. But don't be coming down here in the club level with the AC and just, oh, I'm sorry, I misread the number. Don't give me that bullshit. So go sit in your seat. Okay? All right. It's becoming an epidemic. I don't like it. Get the hell in your seat. You pay for that seat, sit in that seat. Get away from me with you and your. And also, this isn't, I don't know if this is a pet peeve, but it's a bad idea. Baseball game, first date, don't do it. It's,
First date?
yeah, for a first date, the couple next to us, Linda was eavesdropping on them. It was really funny to hear her conversation, but a 3.5 hour baseball game, unless y'all are both really big baseball fans, don't do the first date at a baseball game. Uh, eh.
Who does that?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, unless the person is like really into it,
Yeah, not
and
me.
then they say, here's the only way I would do that is if the girl says, I have season tickets, how about we just meet there? I would do it that way.
Yeah, I didn't
That's
like
a
it.
little bit different, but I don't.
Yeah,
First date? No, it's
looking,
like there's certain things you don't do on a first date. First off, there's certain foods you don't eat. You don't go eat spaghetti on the first date
right, or
because people will, it's spaghetti. There's no way to eat it without getting looking silly.
when I eat
It's just
spaghetti, I look sexy.
yeah. So it's just or something really cheesy. Don't get something really cheesy, you know.
All right.
But
Well, so I we talked about this. I previewed it. We were literally waiting to the last minute and a half. We found a long lost cousin in England, and he's going to be on the show next week. He is a member of the King's Guard. His name is George. So, hello,
George,
George.
George,
Um,
it's George,
George will be
like
with us.
King George.
George knows about the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to give us our take on this Thursday night game. Um, I think that's going to be interesting to have George on the show. And yeah, George, we're excited that we're going to interview, or I'm going to interview you. Um,
I heard it. I heard he looks a little like me
he,
because he's kin to me.
well, he's kin to both of us. But so, anyways, we're up against it, folks. We appreciate you listening. If you made it all the way, or you fast forwarded, either way. Um, so yeah, hopefully. By the way, hopefully the Aggies take care of business this weekend. And but yeah, I already gave my Can't Hope and Miss 22 shout out. So you got about 7 seconds.
All right. So shout out to Devlin Healthcare Concepts, mental health care, helping out with the community, and have a really good team and appreciate their work that they do in all major cities in Texas. And contact us at devlincares.com if you feel you need some therapy or you might have a loved one that you're concerned about.
All
And we'll
right,
help you out with that. Hey, can we end it with a joke?
dude, we're already past an hour. We got to go.
Well, why don't football players wear glasses? Because it's a contact sport. We're out of here.
Folks, send me some liquor, please. All right, we're out. Love y'all. Peace. We're